calendar ka logic, July, August, 31 days. July is on after Julius Caesar and August is on Augustus, and they wanted to show that more power and all, so they would have 31 days to the month named after them. Agreed. But all the months are not named after one of these Roman kings and all of that. Every 28 days, what is the logic? Where does the calendar come from? What is the reason behind New Year? So when you're looking at the Gregorian calendar that we follow, Jan, Feb, March, so usme why do we have itna days, and why is our calendar different as in the Indian calendar, and वो calendar का logic क्या है? सोचो, मतलब calendar पूरा बचपन से देखते हुए आ रहे, यूज करते हुए आ रहे हैं, तो थोड़ा बहुत बेसिक्स पता होना चाहिए. इनफैक्ट कुछ मंथ्स उन लोग के इंडियन कैलेंडर से ही लिया गया है. सो आई एम रीडिंग दिस बुक कॉल्ड इम्पेरिशेबल सीड. सो इट टॉक्स अबाउट थोड़ा कैलकुलस, मैथ्स एंड ये सब है. आई एम नॉट रेकमेंडिंग यू टू रीड इट राइट नाउ. यू नीड टू रीड इट एट अ लेटर स्टेज व्हेन यू हैव रेड टू दैट लेवल. एंड टेक्निकल है थोड़ा. इट्स मैथ्स एंड इट्स अबाउट द ओरिजिन ऑफ मैथ्स एंड व्हाई जीरो वाज डिस्कवर्ड इन इंडिया, व्हाई infinity was discovered in India, because we have the concept of Brahma and Apara Brahma and all. So how did these thoughts, that meditation when you want that nothingness, so zero. So why is zero only after coming after 1 to 9? 1 to 8 करके भी तो zero हो सकता था. So that Fibonacci numbers and everything is sourced back to Vedic maths and everything. So and with proof as to in what year what was done and why it was done and all of that. So anyways, calendar वगैरह के लिए भी curiosity होना चाहिए थोड़ा सा. 31st का पार्टी कर लोगे, लेकिन no clue about why the calendar is this way and all. So thoda curiosity rakho. So not just with respect to your work, but even beyond that, because kya hota hai na, you right now, I was just talking to a couple of kids from my team right now, and we were discussing where मैं उन लोगों को कुछ समझा रहा था. So the idea was that I was just talking to one of my relatives and one of my brother-in-laws, and Jiju is a chartered accountant and practicing CA and indirect taxes. And I was on a negative note, I told him that now I have to remember the GST dates and all. I know कि अच्छा annual GST has to be filed on 31st December. So I was telling him in a very negative manner that I have to remember all this nonsense. But the nonsense is because it's not my work. I don't find it to be productive because it's not my job. I mean, it is something routine, compliance issue and all of that. And when he reverted to me, he reverted in an extremely positive manner that it is good that now you will learn these things also. Now you know these dates as well. Now you know how it is done, and at least the basics of it you understand, and the importance of compliance, why the compliance is done, why is there an annual return, quarterly, whatever. So you should know about it. So I was like, yeah, that is also another way of looking at it. It's not that I have a very limited processing power in my brain where if I'm putting in this much information then I have to delete something. It's not like a hard drive, right? So why not absorb this and know these things? Any which ways people consume so much of trash unnecessarily. It's better to know these things, right? So it's about how you look at it. And today again in the morning I was having a discussion with somebody, and again, despite the political views and everything that you might be having, so you may criticize, you may like, you may not like the person, but the discussion was happening in terms of the politics and everything. And then the discussion came to Narendra Modi and to the Prime Minister. So the point of discussion was, again I'm telling you, you might have a different opinion about the person. I might agree and not agree with things, and as good as people watching a cricket match and then commenting that this guy should have bowled this way, or had this person come out to be the opening batsman and all that. So everybody thinks they're an expert in things when you're viewing from the outside. Anyway, so the topic of discussion was, when we were talking, was that I'm at 30 and this individual is at around 50 and Modi ji is at 76. And the discussion was that when I go for a trip or something, even if it is a work trip or a vacation trip also, you are tired once you come back home. Despite traveling in a flight or traveling in 3AC, 2AC, despite going in a cab or a car wherein, you have the windows up and you're in air conditioned. And it's not that we are doing a very struggling kind of a trip. So I agree. I mean, fortunate enough that I'm not doing when I'm going for a trip. It's not a struggling kind. I don't go for trekking and all of that. I mean, if I'm going for a holiday, I need to relax a bit. So, and the kind of holidays I used to take like 5-7 years back and today is very different. I mean, for the same number of activities I would do in 5 days or 7 days, I would need 20 days to do now or 15 days to do now, because there are hundreds more things that goes on in your mind. So the point of discussion was that at 76, this guy is traveling like crazy, working like crazy. So what is he doing to be able to do that? And when I'm at this age, why and why not am I being able to work that hard? So then it hit me where people talk about financial freedom, and even I too was doing, I was meeting a friend and we were discussing financial freedom and we were doing some calculations and we were comparing each other's notes, not in terms of what I own or what he owns, but in terms of what is the number and how are you coming to your financial freedom number. So the calculation idea that, okay, if my monthly annual expense is this much, I am going to assume a 3% rate and multiply it by 33.33 to get to the financial freedom number. The reason why I was doing it 3% is because I'm keeping the inflation numbers aside. I'm assuming whatever 3% plus 4-5% inflation or so. So that was my idea of looking at it. He was not including the house in his amount. I am keeping my house separate and the amount I need is financial assets. The reason being that I am not calculating rental expense in my total expense. He is calculating. So these are the kind of discussions I have and I enjoy having. Of course, we do a lot of nonsense also at times depending on which friend you're meeting or whom you're meeting. But the question was that we are talking about financial freedom. We are discussing about that. And obviously, even after financial freedom, I would want to continue working. Obviously, I will be working throughout my life. I hope that's how it is. But it's just that maybe there is a certain level of stress that lifts up that, I don't need to. And I think that is also not something that we need to be worried about, because I've talked to somebody who does not even bother about financial freedom because he thinks that, are you that incapable or that lazy that you need to worry about financial freedom? Do you think you'll not be able to even work as much to be able to generate what you need to spend as in to manage your livelihood? I mean, are you going to be that useless? So that's another way of looking at it. So when I was having that conversation today, again, it hit me that, at 76, if this person is working this hard, you like him, you don't like him, that's your problem. But he is working hard, you can't deny that, right? And with the amount of travel and with the amount of stress, and also with the amount of public eye and the abuses that is hurled at you. Because of course, being there on social media, I have to face a couple of challenges also, although very negligible maybe compared to everybody else. Because I try my level best to be as outside as possible with all this and just share my thoughts in terms of what I'm reading, etc. on social media and all these platforms. So that again, as I told you, it got me thinking in the right direction that, okay, I need to be working hard. I don't have to think about financial freedom from that point of view. I don't even, with that other conversation, I don't even need to think that, okay, I'm going to get less stressed after I achieve financial freedom, because I don't see myself becoming as useless to not even be able to manage my expenses. You're understanding the idea? What I'm trying to tell you over here is that please be very careful in terms of what you're consuming, whom you're talking to, what kind of a mindset you're building. Because with this conversation, these 3-4 conversations actually happened in the last 15 days itself. And it's very important for you to, think. So when I take a back seat and try to think about the things, why did this person say so and so? Not as in over-exaggerating or over-analyzing things, because I'm not over-analyzing in terms of regular social drama kind of a thing. That kind of conversation I'm not bothered about. But in terms of, in terms of your work, in terms of your purpose towards life, the purpose of life also, I was having a discussion with a friend of mine recently. So in these things do get me thinking, and also because there are things which I have probably not been doing for the last 5-7 years and I want to start doing or start managing, and I need to ask somebody who's already been doing it for 10 years. So I might as well give a few calls, talk to a few people, understand from their experiences, and then accordingly decide based on my own life and my own circumstances. I'll take the decision, but always be open-minded enough to talk to people. Also acknowledge why they are saying what they are saying, because they will say based on their experiences. My profile, my work, my thought process, my life goals could be very different as compared to the other person from whom I'm seeking the advice. He will give you advices based on his experience and his all those things, goals and all of that. So when you take an advice, you understand that aspect also, and then you apply it to your life. So you talk to a few people, you understand, but at the same time, be very careful if somebody is encouraging you to work harder, if somebody is making your mindset and your life better, if somebody is making you lazier, if somebody is encouraging you to work more, learn more, be more confident about yourself, or is pushing you to a level where, so somebody who's talking about financial freedom in that regards is basically telling you that my Saturday Sundays are very different as compared to normally. So how people talk about it, that your entire life is a Monday to Friday till 10 years, 15 years till you get financial freedom. And then suddenly every day is going to be Saturday, Sunday. So if every day is Saturday, Sunday, that also you'll not enjoy. And right now, if you feel like every day is a Monday to Friday till you get financial freedom, that is also not going to be helping you in terms of being happy, right? And feeling useless is a very bad feeling. So you would probably not be in a position or not want. In fact, I've gone through a few articles of people who gained financial freedom, sold their company for XYZ dollars, venture cap kind of articles and all that. And where within a year or so, they were feeling very, very bad and depressed and all that. And they again got back to the fold. Because as a human being, you want to feel useless. You want to feel productive. So think about these things from different angles. For example, I think more than 7, 8 months or so have been like, absolutely, I'm on my toes. So I'm kind of exhausted. But then when I talk to people like these, like you can have even a 4-year, 5-year time frame where you're going to be working at that level. So you can't say that it's 8 months and I'm not taken a 2-day off also and I need to take an off. So it's okay. You've not taken an off, big deal. So I'd rather listen to those kind of people. So even when you guys are thinking and calculating and evaluating, taking decisions and framing your thought process, it's all in the mind. So really think on those lines. And there was this digital minimalism I was reading. So it's such a well-researched book. Bibliography bolenge, right? Bibliography in terms of the sources the author has gone through in terms of putting the book together. When I was looking through the amount of research this guy went through, and there was another piece over there where he was discussing that you have 24 hours in a day. If you're working for 8 hours and if you're sleeping for 8 hours, you still have those 8 hours. Now, what we as human beings feel, we think, because the way our society has made us to think, that those 8 hours I need to relax, I need to do nothing, because then I have to work for another 8 hours. So those 8 hours I have to be absolutely in front of the television or with the phone or with the social media, doing nothing at least. But the research and all was actually showing that you should actually take up more complicated exercises in those 8 hours. You will actually enjoy that. You'll feel even better. You'll sleep even better. I'm not saying that those 8 hours you need to be working for your office or for your work per se. But those 8 hours, for example, if I want to learn something, there are XYZ things that I actually want to learn. I want to talk about it. Let's see if I'm able to, and if I'm able to complete, I might speak about it. But there are a few things that I want to learn. And reading that analysis, because that's very well researched. And then I figure out that, okay, let me give it a try. Because even after work, class, office, studying, because my studying and reading is very much intertwined with the office. So I don't even understand when my office hours are over or when the office hours begin. So when you read these kind of things, you figure out that, I should be doing something even more productive in those remaining 8 hours. And that will give me an even better satisfaction. That could be purely entertainment, not a money-making exercise or a purely academic learning exercise for your work. It could be absolutely something else, but that needs to be something more deeper, difficult, not as superficial as maybe watching a television. So read these kind of things, talk to these kind of people, start connecting that very consciously, pick up those thoughts that will actually take you forward and not those that will make you lazy. Because we tend to, as human beings, we tend to follow things that like, theek hai yaar, chalta hai, or somebody is going to say that, okay, this year is going to be great. You just be yourself. No, you don't be yourself if you're not good enough. You need to improve. You cannot be yourself. The market is changing. The economy is changing. I cannot be myself. I have to absolutely keep on learning. At the core, in terms of a value system, you might be there. And even then, if there is an opportunity to evolve and be better, why not? But we resonate with those things because they make us even more relaxed. They make us more comfortable about ourselves. So if I'm making a mistake and if somebody says it's okay, it's your opinion, it's your life. No, that's rubbish advice. That's absolute rubbish advice. Then don't go ahead with that. You're understanding? So you will have to be very conscious. You want to fool yourself or you actually want to grow? So that you will have to decide. So whether to go with such kind of decisions or not. Few conversations happened in a stretch, so got me thinking and connecting all that. But karo, it's very important. I feel very fortunate and grateful actually for this, that my thought process is not in the wrong direction. At least from what I see and how I work towards it. Think about all these things.